Hi everyone, this is cryptoacademy.ae. In today's video we are going to discuss Bitcoin and also Ethereum and see what's new with the market. So here on the weekly time frame, I chose this time frame especially today because we noticed something in the last days, let's say. So on the RSI here, the relative strength index, and before we get to that, you have to know that from a 70 to 100 on the RSI, this area, which is called the overbought zone, and this from 0 to 30 is the oversold zone. So as we can see that the RSI here represents that the strength of buying was dropping like this, and of course the price has been dropping as well. So here we see that we touched our oversold zone at this point where we had this wick down here, or this dump. And also here, if we go back here in here, this one, it actually represents this dip, not this one. So in this case, we cannot say that each time that the RSI gets to this area, it's the bottom, because as we saw here before, we actually dipped after that and we created a bullish divergence. And by the way, bullish divergence is when the price is going down, as you see here, but on the RSI it's going up, and this is how we created our bullish divergence. And if we go back to the whole history of Bitcoin, as we can see here, also we dipped to our oversold zone, and it represented, actually it showed that we are in the bottom, and this was true. Also, if we go back here again, we see that this one we dipped, but it wasn't actually the bottom, and this was the bottom. Actually the same thing, we created here a bullish divergence. Here the price is basically a double bottom, and here we are making higher lows. So what I wanted to say, we can even go back to the history of Bitcoin, but these are the examples that we have, or the data that we have since 2013, 2014. So as we can see that necessarily, or doesn't necessarily mean that once we hit this area it means it's the bottom, but actually we can see another dip in the future, and this could be only just, let's say, for example, this is just a retest for this resistance down here. So probably if we hit this, we are probably go back down here again, then we start to create something that we call a bullish divergence, where the price dips again, but on the RSI it goes higher, and from there we can assess the situation more. And I wanted to talk about this because I've seen some analysts talking about this, and I just wanted to make sure that you have to understand it in the correct way. The correct way, actually, the RSI is not like you guys understood. RSI, just understand it as the power of buying. That's it. Don't think about selling. So for example, if the RSI is going up, that means the power of buying, or the strength of buying, is going up as well. And as you can see, price completed to go higher. And the same thing here, when the RSI is dropping, it means buyers are getting exhausted, so they stopped buying and only sellers were there, so price went down. But here we started to see some type of reaction on the RSI, which means some buyers, they bought at this area thinking that it could be the bottom. I'm not saying that this is the completely, or this is definitely the bottom. I still think probably we are going to see another down, but not sure. As I told you before, 80k is your almost decisive area or decisive level. So if we just go up here and start consolidating, then we say probably this was just a fake out or a bear trap, then price will continue down. So this was all the things that I wanted to discuss about Bitcoin. Let's go back to the smaller time frame on the Binance chart and see what we can see. On the 4 hours time frame, we were able to, for now, escape this resistance, but we still trying. As you can see, we are here also struggling. Probably we have to make some base here, then we attack the 80s levels. If we go down, this was a bear trap like this, or a bull trap like it was here, and probably we will head into our internal range again, or the mid of our internal range. So nothing new actually about Bitcoin. I know we have seen some pumps in some coins, especially Ethereum. So if we go to Ethereum and see what we can see, and Ethereum right now actually is bullish and is trying to get to these levels at 2,400, let's say. But for now, we see the RSI is printing strong momentum. As you can see, this is power of buying, so it keeps going up for a while. Your sign to exit if you are a trader is if you make something like this, and here price is making higher highs, but here the RSI starts to make lower highs, which is a bearish divergence, the opposite of what I was explaining in the beginning of the video. So for now, everything seems normal, even though the conflict in the Middle East, but we see that Bitcoin and some altcoins are surviving. If we check on gold, we see that gold is trying to actually test this area at 4,850, and if it doesn't hold, of course it will test 4,670. So this was it. I don't want to make this video longer. I just want to say that most of people, they are buying Bitcoin and Ethereum at this time or period of time, and they believe that this was the bottom. So if you want to buy as well, what you can do is you just deploy 50% of your capital, you buy with it, because in case price goes lower, you will find your 50%, the rest of it, so you can DCA your position. So don't forget to subscribe, share this video with your friends, and check out the links in the description, and see you in the next one. Have a good day.